Alright, Amy. So let's start with some minor tongue passing here. So we'll start over here. We're going to lift the knee up. And no cheating with the table. Hold strong. Same thing over here. Good. Any pain with that? Keep this leg out straight. Hold strong. Same thing here. Any pain with that? No. Alright, I'll have you lift the foot up. Hold strong. Any pain with that?
My ankles are sore with this.
Okay. Let's just pop the shoes off here. So symmetrical so far. 5 out of 5 both sides. I'll have you lift up the toes. I'm going to press on the big toe. Hold strong. So right side inversion. So I would put her at like a 4 out of 5 on the right for that one. And we'll point the foot down towards the floor. Hold strong. Same thing over here. Okay. Does feel different side to side? No? Okay. I'm going to have you stand up. You're going to face the door here. We'll check out our alignment.
Easier.
We'll put the feet all the way together. I'm just going to palpate your hips here. Alright, so elevated on the left iliac crest. I'm just going to roll the shirt up a little bit here. The swelling doesn't look as much as it was. Definitely still a little bit. And is that where you feel that pop when you...
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like right, it's this side.
That side, okay.
Right there.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
How many times a month would you say that happens?
If I'm lucky, I'll get it at least once.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a few months and it won't, and that's when I start getting like really severe pain.
Okay. Alright, so increase adductor tone bilaterally, more so on the right. Alright, let's have a seat on the, or a lay on our back on the table. Alright, I'm just gonna have you bridge the hips up here, down, and then lay the legs out long. And you're on the right, which is in supine. ASIS on the left is higher. Alright, I'm just gonna have you slide up so your legs are on the table here. Let's start with the reset here. So I'm gonna have you bend your knees, feet on the table. You're just gonna meet my resistance. Relax. Relax. Any increase in your symptoms here?
No.
Does one side feel harder than the other?
This one a little bit.
Okay. Is there a wedge in here?
There's not, I can grab one.
Let's lift the hips up again here, back down, and stretch the legs out long. You guys having good Easter plans?
I don't know yet.
No?
It looks like it's gonna be cold.
Is it?
Like 40, 46 or
Are you
something.
kidding?
I was
Is it
like,
supposed to be like 70s all week?
I know.
Oh, that's so annoying.
I was like, oh, we could do an egg hunt outside with the kid. No.
Yeah.
It'll be inside.
I know, it's always the thing, like, we were trying to plan stuff during Easter, and my parents are always like, what are we gonna do, inside or outside? We usually did it outside regardless of the weather.
Yeah.
Alright, so improvement in the frontal plane alignment after the reset here. So I'm just gonna poke in the hip here. I'm gonna try and relax that hip flexor down and see if we can improve that little tender there. 0 to 10.
3.
Okay. Just make sure you take a nice deep breaths here while we're releasing. So if you have a transfer of, like she's elevated on her left and standing, and then right and supine.
So for me, that's usually motor control. That confirms the motor control because it flips. If it was a true upslip, it would be consistent, usually weight bearing and non weight bearing. The wide stance pelvic assessment to the narrow can also help too.
Still feel tender here?
That's only for the first like, couple seconds.
Anything down here? So mostly iliacus.
Mm-hmm.
How about up here?
Oh, those, yeah, that's more sore.
More so than the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same iliacus?
Yeah, just a little higher. Do you have to go through the construction to get here?
Yeah.
It's everywhere right now.
Yeah.
It's bananas.
I don't know why they would start like morning traffic. Like why wouldn't you just start like 9:30? Everyone's already at work.
Like the manhole covers, and then the,
Right?
the cones. I feel like I'm playing a video game driving. It's
There was a rider truck right in front of me. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a mess. Swerving. I was like,
That was the same as behind me, and they set the cones really narrow.
Yeah.
So the truck behind me was like every cone, he was just hitting, it was kicking over in the other lane.
I guess it makes the commute more interesting.
Right? You don't get boring. Luckily I don't have to go that way, but I see the traffic like coming from that way. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry everybody.
I used to live in DC, so I can't complain. Like,
Yeah. That's rough.
we're like, oh, it's 20 miles into DC, so that takes between 1 and 3.5 hours, and
And you never know which it's gonna be.
you know, you'd be like on your way somewhere, and you'd be like, all right, I'll get there right on time, and then all of a sudden it just turns red, and they're like, we've added an hour to your trip. You're like, well, I might as well turn around. Like,
My friend did a clinical in DC, and she was like, when she looked at the placement, it was 45 minutes away.
yeah, but
But
check
it
at
took
night
her
usually.
3
Yeah.
hours
Mhm.
every day
Mhm.
there and back.
Yep.
She's like, insane amount of commute time on top.
Yes.
Like, 'cause she was right in downtown. She was at like a specialty hospital.
Right.
I'm gonna take the wedge from you here. Let's bridge the hips up, back
So
down.
just for fun now, the right side hurts.
The right side, where is it hurting?
The right in that like acid joint. Right
In the back.
Yep.
Okay. And that start just when you.
Yep.
Okay. Let's lay the legs back out long. So as we kind of correct that alignment here, some of that soreness and uncomfortable definitely can be expected because we're kind of moving the relationship of joints to one another. So improved alignment this direction, but still a little bit lower on the left. Alright, I'm gonna check out this side here too. We'll put the wedge back under your knees. Is it better with the wedge under the knees?
It's just moving it. Like when I bridged up, that
Okay.
like I noticed it. Sitting here, it's not noticeable.
Okay.
If I never move, it doesn't move.
Well, that's not a solution.
No, it's not. That's the worst solution. I feel like that's probably what caused this to start with, so I will not be doing that.
This tender over here.
Yep. Actually, that's actually more sore than the other side. I have a joke about my pain scale. People are like, how does that hurt? I'm like, it's like a 2. So like, it's not so bad. I'm like, I don't know. Like a fully dislocated shoulder is like a 7. So
So we're going.
like
You're
contractions
like,
were like an 8. Like it's they're like, what's a 10? I'm like, I don't know, and I hope I never do. Like, let's just
keep it at that, right?
That's the good thing about all of this. At least I'm like, it's bad, but I'm used to it, so.
Contractions for twins, huh?
I had contractions, yeah, I was on bed rest for like 4 months.
I
Cause
remember you saying
I
that,
started
yeah.
contractions at like 23 weeks, and it continued every day at like 10-minute intervals until 36 weeks.
What?
So that was rough.
And is that when you were flying to India?
Well, it happened while I was flying, and then I was like alone in an apartment by myself. Yeah.
Oh my god.
When it was at night, it got to be at night, and it was like down to 5 minutes. I was like, all right. I called my husband. I was like, you need to come here because there's no like taxis at night, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I didn't speak Hindi, but yeah.
Oh my god, how far were you from the hospital?
Like an hour and a half.
Oh,
What? Giving me
Yeah.
anxiety.
Yeah, it was giving me anxiety. I was like, I don't know what to do. There's no NICU closer, so if something goes horribly wrong, I'm just stuck.
Oh my god.
He's like, just go down and scream and somebody will help you find something. I was like, I don't speak Hindi. And he's like, you're hugely pregnant. They're gonna know what the problem is. So I was like, alright, sure, I guess that's fair.
That is, yeah, giving people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, but I was like, yeah.
Wow. Still tender here? Kind of
No,
calmed down?
that's better. Yeah, it's only for like the first few seconds.
Same thing, iliac is on this side. Anything up here?
Not as bad. Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna take the wedge again. And try another bridge. And down. How'd that one feel?
It's still sore.
Okay. About the same as the first time? Okay. Let's lay the legs out long.
It feels less twisted to me.
Yeah, that looks better. Let's sit up. We'll retest my fitness here. Alright, so we'll start over here. Knee up. Table. Knee up. Hold strong. And same thing here. Any pain? Just kick out straight. Hold strong. We'll lift the foot up. Hold strong. Less inversion with the dorsiflexion here. And then we'll do the toes.
This one's weird.
I know, it's a weird one. Gotta check your toe curls. Good. We'll point the foot down to the floor. You're symmetrical. 5 out of 5 there.
That one's by far the easiest.
The easiest, yeah. Any pain with any of them? Okay, good. Let's stand up. We'll check our alignment again here. Pull the feet all the way together. Yeah, so much more level at the iliac crests here. All right, let's have a seat on the table. We're gonna pop out for a second, and then we'll get into some exercise. Okay.